Hi, Truth Tribe. I wanted to do something different. I've been bringing to you guys for the last 4 to 5 weeks inspirational saying memes that I find on social media, and I decided that I'm going to do a voiceover recording on a nice picture and just say some words of encouragement and inspiration, as well as to pair with my Monday inspiration Mondays that I have to push inspiration and push um, high self-esteem and everything positive on the people who have a connection to me, who I call my Truth Tribe. I want you guys to know, if you're having a time in your life right now, let's say you're doing something you've never done before in your life and you feel very out of place, you feel like a fish out of water, you feel like, you know, I probably shouldn't even be doing this, but you took it upon yourself to step out on faith and do something different because you felt led to. Let me tell you something. If the world is making you feel down or making you feel hesitant on continuing to do that which is foreign to you, don't listen to the world. Here's why I say that. I had a number of different things that I decided to do at some point or another, and it was so out of my comfort zone. It was so out of what I would usually do. It was so, oh my gosh, what am I doing type of situation. For instance, if you're part of my Truth Tribe, you probably already seen this video, but I created a video about this. I decided a few years ago, probably around about 5 years ago, that I wanted to take a vacation to Las Vegas, Nevada. Excuse me, guys. Now, mind you guys, I had never been to Las Vegas, Nevada, nor anywhere that I had to get to by plane by that time. So I was pretty daggone terrified by the thought, to be honest. But I've also constantly heard about how fun and enjoyable and exciting Las Vegas is, and how when you go on vacation there, you really have fun, you really have a good time. And so I haven't been to as many places as I'd like to be. I've also done a couple of other videos where I have put up, story times about places that I have taken vacations to, and places that I have went. And I've also put up a video of places that I'd like to go one day. And Las Vegas was one of those places that I wanted to go to. And I was feeling around that time like it was the time for me to finally go. And what kind of made me feel like it was all in alignment is I was on my Facebook page one day and I saw this female. Now, this wasn't a female that I knew personally or anything like that. This was a female that I had a lot of times found myself around in a distant area. I grew up around this female because we grew up in the same area of town. And then when I got older, seen this female a few times when I was in the dance world. I used to see her, in some of the clubs. So if I had seen her like on the streets, like walking while I'm like on my day-to-day routine, I would say hi to her, she would say hi to me type situation. We didn't really know each other, but we just spoke to each other because we seen each other a lot and we would come across each other a lot. Excuse me. So keeping that in mind, this same young lady, who I always thought was pretty daggone interesting, she was a very beautiful girl, and she seemed like an interesting person. So every time she said hi to me, that's one of the major reasons why I will always say hi back. So when I seen that this young lady had posted a post one day on Facebook that said, "Hey, I got extra tickets to Las Vegas, all expense paid trip, and I would really like someone to go with me. My friend was supposed to go, but they had to back out last minute. And I would really like for somebody to go on this trip with me. It doesn't matter if we don't know each other. We can get to know each other. I'm open to meeting new people." And she said, "And don't be scared to respond. I'm serious about this post." So I'm not saying exactly what the post said. I'm just paraphrasing from my memory because I don't have the post in front of me. I know it probably sounded like I did. So when I saw that post, it just made me feel like, okay, maybe that's now the time for me to be able to go because, mind you, even though I wanted to go to Vegas, right now and at that time, I don't really frequently uh, maintain Vegas money to be able to go on a vacation to Vegas. So, because that was the case then, I was thinking that seeing her post that about having an extra ticket of an all expense paid trip was kind of like my way of being able to go. So I reached out to the girl and I said, "Hey, how are you? I know you never speak to me or whatever, usually unless we see each other in person, but I saw that you posted something about Vegas and having an extra ticket, and I've always wanted to go, and I've been really having my heart set on it lately, but been having financial difficulties, coming up with the right amount of money. So when I seen your post that said that it was all expense paid trip, I figured it wouldn't hurt for me to reach out to you to see if you were serious." So I said, "If you're serious, let me know what the prerequisites are to be able to go on this trip with you." Y'all know she never responded back to the message. Never. She never responded back. So I took that as my inspiration for myself to recognize, like, oh, so she wasn't serious about that post apparently. She probably just wanted to see who was stupid enough to respond to her post. And I say stupid enough because, I know now that some people, they just be doing stuff to try to, like, laugh at people and see, like, let's see if somebody going to act all vulnerable enough to respond to this. So I feel like that was the type of energy that I got with that. Excuse me, y'all. But y'all, guess what? I didn't allow that to stop me from being able to take my trip to Las Vegas, though. I just knew, obviously. Well, you won't be going to Las Vegas with her, obviously. But I didn't let that keep me from actually going on the vacation. Now, fast forwarding from like around at least 5 years ago. I'm not going to say it's exactly 5 years ago. I'm rounding about because my years be kind of like melting into each other sometimes. And I might be a little bit off with my time framing. So I'm just doing roundabout time. So fast forwarding to now, it's been, I'd say, round about 3 to 4 years since I went on my vacation to Vegas. So I did end up going. And I'm just proud of myself that ancestors, thank you, God, that I was able to keep the faith in knowing that I was going to be able to finally take that trip. And not only was I going to be able to finally take the trip, but it was going to be even better than I thought it would be. Because when I was trying to go, I realized, okay, this is going to be an expensive trip if you go by yourself. So I realized it is a good idea to go with someone. So that wasn't a bad idea to try to see if I'll go in with someone, but you have to make sure you go with someone you know, obviously. And you also, or at least kind of know, and you also have to make sure that you go with someone that you can have a good time with. So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And at the time, I didn't really have any friends left anymore, barely, because like I had friends, but over time, I don't know, it just seemed like I lost a lot of the friends that I thought I had. So because of that, I was like thinking super hard, like who do I have that I can take this Vegas trip with? Now, mind you, at the time, I wasn't in a relationship with any guy or anything like that. So I didn't have like a guy friend that could, go ahead and pay for the trip and just invite me to go with him. So I was really thinking very hard, like, who can I pick to take this vacation with me? And I have a best friend, um, who I'm not like extremely close to like I would like to be, but we're close enough to the point where we've been friends since we were like 10 or 12. And we're still friends to this day. We've been through a lot of different situations and had a lot of complications. And, I've watched her go through many of controversial and, frustrating, nerve wracking levels in her life. And she's also witnessed me going through frustrating, wacky time frames in my life. So, we've been there for each other in different times that we both may not have had anybody else to be there. So, with that being said, she's like the closest that I have to a best friend, even though we're not like extremely close. So, I'm going to name her um, Layla. So, my best friend Layla, um, I had ended up thinking of her when I was thinking so hard of finding out who I could take to Vegas with me. So, since she came to mind, I decided, okay, I'll touch bases with her, talk to her, and at least see if she wants to go. And then if she at least wants to go, then I can go from there and find out, okay, how much the vacation is going to be and everything. Now, mind you guys, I have been on vacation with Layla before. Um, we went to Atlantic City before, and we went to a couple of other places. So we've definitely spent time going away together before. And so I wouldn't have been like brand new to traveling with her. But I would be brand new to traveling on a plane because going to Las Vegas, you have to go on a plane because a train ride would be just ridiculously long. So I have been to very few places, and the few places that I've been to, I either was driven there or I took a train there or something like that. So I never had went on a plane before she and I finally decided to plan this vacation and plan this trip. So even though she and I had went away before, we had never went away and traveled on a plane. So um, I had told her about that, and she already knew, but I just reminded her about that. And she was like, well, you know what? So that you're not so extremely stressed about the situation, I'll plan the trip. And all you have to worry about is just getting on the plane. And I was like, well, that's an idea that would help my anxiety. Even though I'll still have anxiety, I was like, it will help my anxiety that at least I don't have to plan the trip. I said, but now we need to find out how much we're going to need to be able to go. And so she was like, okay, I'm going to call you back with all the information. I'm about to find out right now. Excuse me. So she ended up finding out all the information about the hotel room, about some packages, including renting a car and all of that, and how much everything would cost. And she called me back and let me know about it. I don't think she called me back exactly that day. I think she contacted me a few days later. But anyway, she ended up giving me the information, contacted me with the information, and then we ended up going ahead and planning everything out. So she let me know how much I needed for my portion of the trip and what date I needed it by. And so it was very enjoyable. Like, it was very fun, even planning it, like waiting for the time frame for us to leave. And when we went, like, being on our way up there, getting on the plane ride and being like extremely nervous. It was two plane rides there and it was two plane rides back. Being extremely nervous, kind of scared, like, and all of that. But then on the way back, not being nervous or scared, really barely at all. And recognizing that it was just all in my head, honestly. And I just really enjoyed the plane ride. We stayed for a few days. I was so happy that we didn't have to come like right back immediately, like in the first 2 days or anything like that. I think we stayed about 4 or 5 days. And to be honest, she and I both wanted to stay a little longer. Excuse me, but neither one of us really um, had the time or the money to really like pay to stay longer. So that's why we ended up leaving when we did. But we had a ball. We ended up meeting some people there, getting better rooms because we didn't really like our rooms at first that we got. It was kind of basic. The only thing that we really liked about the first room that we got, is that the bed was like super duper comfortable. Like, it made you want to go to sleep as soon as you laid in it. But other than that, like, we didn't like our rooms. And while we were down there, we ended up running into a stranger that seemed like a real, real good guy, a real cool, like down to earth kind of guy. And he was from Atlanta, and he said that he was in Vegas on business on a business trip, and he was like, he had booked a whole bunch of different rooms for him and his colleagues, and a couple of his colleagues couldn't make it, and so he had the rooms already paid for. And so he ended up asking my girlfriend, Layla, and I, did we want the room? He's like, it's a really nice room. And we were like, do we want it? And so we were like, you know what? Yeah, let's take it, because we don't really like our room that we in anyway. So, man, when we got that room, I'm so mad that I can't find the footage of me recording the hotel room and the pictures. But oh my goodness, guys, that room was so nice. It had beautiful big bed. It had a nice office area. It was so spacious. Oh my gosh, the view was gorgeous. And we just like was like, wow. The room was like 10 times better than the original one that we had. Like, the very, very original room we had, we didn't even we couldn't get. I almost forgot about that part. That was one of the complications that we did have when we did go. My girlfriend had booked us a room in the hotel and everything, and by the time we got down there to the hotel. Now, this was like right around the time where COVID had just broke out and everything, but everything had calmed down already. So it was like a year or two after COVID. So even though people were still taking precautions, it wasn't like ridiculous to the point where we still could travel. So when we got to Vegas after COVID had hit, the hotel that my girlfriend had booked the room in, she didn't know until we had gotten down there that that hotel had been closed down. So the original hotel that we ended up getting was definitely not the original hotel that she had booked. But she had to hurry up and book a brand new one because the one that we thought we had, we didn't have. So when he ended up getting us that other hotel that was a lot better, that was like very luxurious, y'all. The bathroom was gorgeous. Oh my goodness, so pretty. They gave you your own little robe and slippers and stuff. I should have took one of them robes. Cause I think that's what they got it there for. You know how to get you the cloths and stuff. They had the little sectioned off area where you go to the bathroom, where it's a door right there, closed off from the rest of the bathroom. And then they had a big tub in there and a big walk-in shower. The mirrors all over the place. You could use like the voice command to open and close the curtains to the beautiful view window. It was gorgeous, y'all. The name of the hotel was The Win. I have the few pictures and videos that I did find. I have them up on my video that I recorded and posted around about the time that I had went on that vacation. So I have a post up about that, but I don't have all of the information that I had originally had at that time. Excuse me, y'all. So I'm glad I was able to have some information though to show y'all. But y'all, long story short, well, it's not really short, but it's shorter than it could have been. Um, if I did not keep the faith, and if I allowed my circumstances of not having the money that I'm really trying to have right now, that I really knew that I could, that I would have needed and could have used, if I would have allowed that to stop me from pursuing taking this vacation, I would have never been able to enjoy that luxurious vacation because y'all, it was definitely luxurious. Not only did that stranger guy that we ended up meeting um help us to be able to get a better room before we left, but he also took us out to dinner. I had this lobster macaroni and cheese, and y'all, I remember it because I, now am deciding like not to really eat macaroni and cheese and stuff like what I used to eat before. But at that time was years ago, so this was before I made a decision, and I was like, that seemed like the best looking thing on the menu, so I got the lobster macaroni and cheese. So that's why I remember what I got. And he also took us to get some massages. And so it was like very luxurious experience, to be honest. Like it was a little awkward too because like I said, we had the issue with the hotel room, and then we also had an issue with the rental car because as you guys already know, if you guys are already a part of my Truth Tribe and subscribe to my channel, I do not drive myself, but my girlfriend Layla does. So I was like, okay, you know what? If you don't mind, you can drive us around or whatever. And she was like, yeah, that I don't mind that. And so as soon as we touched down in Las Vegas, we went to the car rental place. Y'all, that car rental place was so ratchet and ghetto. It was just a terrible experience. Like, I don't want to get upset talking about it, but let me just say, just nip it in the bud and say that it doesn't matter what location you're at. People can be ratchet and ghetto anywhere because we was all the way in Las Vegas. trying to deal with who was supposed to be professional people. And those people were not professional at all. But, we still enjoyed our trip, our vacation, and it was definitely very luxurious. Oh my goodness, the Wynn Hotel that we ended up in, that hotel is so beautiful, so gorgeous. Um, got to get in a pool. I don't think we got to get into any jacuzzis, but we did get to get in the pool, and we saw this jacuzzi and pool area that was like really, really luxurious. That probably looked like an area where probably stars and stuff go. But of course, we couldn't go there. It was like VIP section or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? One day I'm going to go back to Vegas and I'm going to be able to have enough to be able to go into those areas that my girlfriend and I was looking at, but we couldn't go into because they had them closed off and it was like special guest area. One day I'm going to be able to go to Vegas and be able to be in those special guest areas without a problem. But y'all, that's why I decided to come on camera to talk to you guys today and to give you guys an encouraging word to let you know, step outside of the box, step outside of your comfort zone. I know it's shaky. I know it's scary. I know it's difficult. When I was trying to take this vacation, I was so nervous. Even on the vacation, I was nervous. But I hung in there and I did not let my belief in the things that I thought at the moment was impossible to stop me from being able to have an amazingly great experience that I may not have been able to ever be able to experience if I didn't allow myself to step outside of my comfort zone and not allow any complications to deter me from being comfortable enough to still step out of this comfort zone. In other words, when you start running into complications and issues because of stepping outside of the comfort zone, don't look at that as a reason to shy away from doing it or a reason to feel like, oh, that's a sign I'm not supposed to be doing this. No, that's not a sign that you're not supposed to be doing it. That's a sign that you're supposed to continue to keep trying to do it, even regardless of whatever complications, issues, or problems that you might have. Because when you push through, no matter what the situation is, you never know what kind of blessing you can get from the other side of you pushing through. So push through, y'all. Push through, Truth Tribe. It's gonna be all right. Like, I know it's difficult out here, y'all. Like, the cost of living is going up. The cost of food is going up, and the pay of working for people is not going up as much as the cost of living is going up, which is crazy to me. But that is part of the huge problem in America. And so I know it's very hard and it's very difficult for us to keep a straight face, to keep a smiling face, to keep a happy face, to not let life and its deadbeat downer effects really affect us too tremendously to the point that we don't allow ourselves to be happy and live in the moment and be free and understand that no matter what your bank account is, if you even have a bank account, if you believe in God and you believe in Christ and you believe in your ancestors that came here before you, that paved the way for you, then you believe that the impossible is possible. Just like every bird, every lion, every bee, every butterfly eats and is well taken care of on a regular day-to-day basis and they don't have a job, you can eat and you can be well taken care of on a day-to-day basis and possibly not even have a job. Like, I've had those times and God blessed me because I was able to maneuver in certain ways so that I can still be able to work on myself and work on my careers that I want to do, but not have to work myself to death slaving for someone and not actually working on a career that I'm passionate about. So guys, take my advice, do yourself a favor and take my advice and push yourself through in experiencing things that are foreign to you. Because when you push yourself through, you can be able to finally be able to see the blessing that complication, that circumstance, and that bad issue that was in the way that you pushed away, you will be able to see the blessing on the other side of that. Just push through. Y'all got this. We got this, Truth Tribe.